one way or another. Mama said there'll be days literally just like this. And as this room fill up, be sure, and I mean just that, be sure to hit that like button, share this content, let friends, neighbors know where to go when it's time to tune in to Cowboys Sports Talk and beyond. This including the ice wall, baby. New Cowboys signings turning heads at OTAs with y'all dropping this physique. Come on with it. Plus more. Come on with it. Yep. Five, four, three. And one. Appreciate everybody for jumping in. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. As we cover everything, shout out to the Rewind gang. Appreciate y'all. Oh, no days off. Okay. Been ripping and running and ripping all day today. Put a congratulations to Lauren. It was her graduation today, and London will graduate on Thursday, so it'll be another ripping and running. But it's always good to know that you're graduating from one class to the next class. Now, I'm old school. They only gave us graduation parties when you absolutely graduated from high school. But the new flavor is that every time you get from one grade to the next, you got a graduation party. But hey, I enjoy it because you got to celebrate the small moments, right? And then you build up to the bigger moment. And then when it's time for you to cross and get things going in the best way possible, then you see where you've been and how the progress goes. So a round of applause to Lauren. She graduated today. I will show y'all pictures, but y'all know how the internet be getting interneting. But neither here nor there. As we were scrambling and scraping for content, one of the articles from the Landry Hat pulled up, and it was saying, new Cowboys signing turning heads. Now, pause if necessary, and I get it. You know, everybody in the National Football League should be in shape because you're at the highest of the highest levels, right? You went from playing football at middle school to high school, from high school to college, from college to the pros. So you should be in good shape. But I got a cheat note here. What I did was I'm giving you guys free game, right? I read the article and I went over everything, but then I got my loyal assistant that we're going to read this out to you all, and it's going to be the AI. Let me see where she at. Hey, girl, go ahead and read this out for your boy. Come on.
Solomon Thomas, the Dallas Cowboys' recent defensive line acquisition, is making headlines during organized team activities, OTAs, with his impressive physical condition and potential impact on the team. Key talking points.
Come on, what is key talking points?
1. Remarkable physical condition.
Okay.
Thomas has garnered attention for his exceptional physique during OTAs.
All right.
Observers describe him as being in peak shape, showcasing a level of fitness that stands out even among professional athletes. This physical readiness suggests he's prepared to contribute significantly on the field. 2. Valuable rotational player.
Hold on.
While Thomas may not be a primary starter, his experience and durability make him a valuable rotational player. He is expected to provide depth behind Osa Odigizua at the 3 technique position, helping to manage workloads and maintain defensive line performance throughout the season. 3. Reunion with coaching staff.
Reunion.
Thomas
Write this down.
reunites with defensive line coach Aaron
Reunited.
under whom he previously played with the New York Jets.
Okay.
This familiarity could facilitate a smoother transition and maximize his effectiveness within the Cowboys' defensive scheme. 4. Leadership and locker room presence.
All right, break it down, lady.
Beyond his on-field contributions, Thomas is recognized for his leadership qualities and positive influence in the locker room. His commitment to excellence and team culture aligns with the Cowboys' objectives for the upcoming season.
No doubt, no doubt. Give a round of applause to Law's assistants, the AI. Give a round of applause to him. Ho, 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 ho. Yeah. Got the best assistants, man, in the world. Okay, so breaking down Solomon, Temple, Thomas, shout out to the Thomases right there. Powerful last name, by the way. If you don't know, now you know. But I will say this. One of the key elements, and it was brought up last night on Cowboys Collective. Put CC in the chat if you watch Cowboys Collective last night. And one of the key elements of our conversation for the nation been on the topic line of, Osa been giving us unbelievable stat lines for your mind in September and October. And then when we had those 3 games in 11 days, all of a sudden y'all were like, hey, where's Osa in them, man? What happened to Osa? What happened to Parsons, And when we start to think about these things, and shout out to you, Holly, he says AI aligning. Yes, indeed. Yes, and I love seeing CC's in the chat. Oh, my gosh, man. I'm glad that y'all swallowed it. The content, man, I'm glad y'all swallowed up the content last night, man. I appreciate y'all. Louis 3, or Louis, you missed it. Go back and watch it, because here's my thought track of it. One of the things that we've been talking about is the ability to finish what you done started. And we do teeter out. We are the only team in the last, I believe you can throw in the Detroit's team, but when we play that Thanksgiving Day game, I get it. We are one of those teams that a lot of people want to utilize and use us to carry the NFL. So that's why it's 3 games in 11 days, and if you got smaller guys like Osa and you got smaller guys like Parsons and these guys, sometimes there's one law that you can't. Major Paul's law.
Swallowed up. Have you ever been swallowed up?
Yeah. But one of the major things, I get everybody to laugh. That's my goal, man, get everybody to laugh. But one of the major things, not minor things, is to finish, right? And we've been talking about this one law that everybody got to go through. And this is the law, write this down, of diminishing rates of return. Let me put that out there again. Somebody can Google it and put the law of diminishing rates of return. And the diminishing rates of return with Osa Odighizuwa been very abysmal at the end of the year. So what happens here naturally, organically, he fizzles out. And that's just life, right? It's just for what it is. Smaller size guy going up against the front 5, it just wears down on you. It wanes on you. So last year, can anybody, Big Sauce, come on, man, you telling me to pause. Look at your name, Big Sauce. Come on, man. You saucy. But it's a good name. That's a good name. Good name, Big Sauce. But if anything, ladies and gentlemen, that I want to lament would be this right here, ladies and gentlemen. Ultimately, would be this right here. Who was our backup 3 tech last year? Who was our backup 3 tech last year? And Tim Starks, appreciate you, man. Zero is on his way. Hey, we're going to bring up Zero in a few. Who was our backup 3 tech last season? Yeah. Can y'all put the name? Y'all don't even know who the name is. Even when you use Chat GPT, use Gronk or use Google right quick. Who's our backup 3 tech? Do y'all know him? Nobody, baby. Yeah, who's our backup 3 tech last year? I'm trying to figure it out. Shout out to you, Big Stars. Shout out to my guy, Ice Cold Cowboy. Sister Sal, appreciate you. Boy, yep, we getting a perfect attendance here, man. Come on. Yeah. Who? D-Shift, appreciate you. Halle, appreciate you. Victorious, appreciate you. Not Secrets, but appreciate you. The real Bishop Kang, man. What's good with you? So what we're saying now, Jordan Phillips, maybe, he came in for a cup of coffee. Mozzie, he's a one tech, right? Marshawn kneeling, them knees went out on Marshawn, right? So what I'm getting at, let me just fast forward. Solomon Thomas last season had 4 sacks. Of course, it's with the White Cotton guy, Aaron White Cotton. Well, we got him on our side now, right? But Solomon Thomas had literally 4 sacks last season, right? It's almost what Osa had, right? But now if you add those two together, man, that's going to be a good situation. The season before that is Solomon Thomas had 6 sacks. So what I'm getting at is that by short, natural, organic speaking alone, that we have better depths now than what we had last season. Chauncey, although I like Chauncey, he's more of an edge rusher on the outside that can give you 3 tech inside, right? Quick twitches is not his game, but he's a taller 6'7", big burly guy on the edge that did some good stuff for us. His only knock was that we didn't give him a chance or a lot of opportunities. Shout out to you, Albert and them, Jerry, for the 20 stars. Appreciate you. So what I'm getting at is that now, based off of my knowledge, we now have someone that can come in and alleviate some of those things on those 3 games in 11 days or 3 games in 12 days, however the number works. And that will make us better. That's why I'm saying that Solomon Thomas, he may not, he got muscles on top of muscles and everything. I get it. The dude is ripped up, chiseled, and all of this good stuff. But Gerald McCoy hit us up the other day and said, hey, Law, he was always built like that, though. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, built like Tarzan, play like Jan, all of that stuff, all of those sayings. But now what I like out of all of this is that even what the AI chick said, the AI chick, my bad, the AI lady, let me put some respect on her name. Well, don't get mad at me, But what I'm getting at is that this right here, ladies and gentlemen, could be a great thing for us, because this is how it goes, ladies and gentlemen. Now, once Osa get law of diminishing rates of return, we add in Solomon, and everything will go great for us. And this is a good thing for us, ladies and gentlemen. It's flat out good for us. Yeah.
You're welcome, Law. Let me know if you need a breakdown for video content or a social post on it, too. #Cowboys Nation.
Okay, all right, sure. Hey, what you doing a little later on? Oh, my bad, y'all. Wrong show. Boy, AI Law, I'm going to live forever, baby. All right, so with that being said, Cowboy Nation, as we look at not just him, the other part of it is Donovan Ezaraku. He's a smaller size guy, right? And the way I'm looking at this, when we start breaking down edge rushers on this team, the closest guy, even though he haven't played a down on this particular situation as it relates to football, Ezaraku haven't played a down, but I can only believe out of all of our edge rushers, minus Dante Fowler, Ezaraku got to be at least the most bendable guy that's going to come off of that edge that can give you Parsons-like type of abilities, right? And when those 3 games in 11 days, and if we need to figure out ways to give Parsons a spell, right, then we can throw in Donovan in them, right? So that's how I look at it. AI talking back. We now in trouble. Boy, hey, it is for what it is, man. It's an evil world we live in, right? But let's talk about this part of it, because one of the things that we was talking about is linebackers before I get too down the stretch here. Let's listen to this, what we said last night. But when I look at the 3 that I have here, Of course, we can talk about Kenneth Murray and Sanborn. Those are the two veteran guys that they brought into the mix. But I'm leaning on and I know it's kind of crass for me to say step it up for Overshawn, but when he gets back, I want him to step it up. I absolutely like Leofow, and the other person would be Shamar James. I think that all three of these guys would be the future, right? And if they all three can go over Jason Witten's house and extract his blood and see how he stayed healthy for all of those. Hey, look at John. He'll try to hold back his laugh as much as possible. My guy, my brother from another mother, John. John was like, that John boy. Hey, well, we had the funnest times, man, before and after these shows.
The Coleman Cowboy, $10. Loving all of this. I just need to see everyone with pads on. But truly, it's a great feeling seeing everyone buying into the system. From the trades, draft, and off-season energy, you gotta love it.
Okay, all right. So that's dope, man. Appreciate you, Coleman. Thank you so much for your support. And it is for what it is. And that is one of the things that I would say overall, Coleman, appreciate you, man. The Coleman Cowboys, man, we just need to see it on pads. And waiting for all of this will be just that, And AI, I'm gonna tell the AI, okay, hold on. Let me see. Hold on with it. Hey. Hold on. Here we go. Yeah. Hold on. Right here we go. Boom. Here we go. Yeah. Here we go. The Dallas Cowboys. When it's time for us to put the pads on, Coleman, here's my 1,000 truths of it. That would be the day we separate those who pretending to be great and those who are great. I would never forget me and my guy Shango. We were at Oxnard, right? And it was one of those things whereas we were watching this guy named Reggie Davis, who wore number 11. And we was like, man, this guy's fast. He's taking the top off the defense. He came out of nowhere. He was doing kickoff return, punt returns. He was just doing everything remarkable in a frame of like 5'9.5", right? And he was unguardable, right? He was catching everything. But the very first pad day, he had caught a slant. He caught it. Right. But he also caught some pads, right? And that was the last catch that he caught, because now when he tried to do a dig or a drag or a 9, he was dropping everything. He checked out. I don't know if Reggie y'all can look up Reggie Davis. He may have done drop some stuff off at your house at Uber Eats, or he may have been door dashing now, because I can guarantee you that brother is definitely not playing anybody's football. So, yeah, I do agree. You can look really good right now, shoot. But when them pads come on, boy, me and Shango were like, Reggie! Reggie! Instead of Ricky, Reggie! Reggie gonna fool around and hear this and be like, he gonna send me some cease and desist. But that's how all of this stuff goes, man. Everybody looks pretty great right around these times. And it's just for what it is, man. But shout out to Reggie Davis and the Davis family. Don't send me no letters, man. But we just telling y'all what we saw. Yeah, alligator arms are crazy, Coleman. Yes, indeed. But that's just what happened over there. All right, so on Friday, Jeremy Fowler mentioned the Cowboys as a potential suitor for Jaylen Ramsay. Well, I got friends of the show. They went over this, and this Brian brought us in, as well as Jeffrey. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know him. So let's listen to what they had to say. Jeff Kavanaugh
All right, every time a big-name player could potentially be traded, somebody ties it to the Dallas Cowboys, and I forgot which talking head. Was it the one guy or the one guy put the Cowboys in with Jaylen Ramsay of the Miami Dolphins, that there's talks going on and the Cowboys could be part of that thing. Brian, how excited are you that the Cowboys are going to add Jaylen Ramsay to this thing?
Well, I'd be really excited if it was true. I think the Cowboys just got tagged on this one. I don't think this is Jerry and Steven. This is just talking to folks, during the week. I know that Ramsay was a name that people were throwing around. There's a possibility of him being a June 1. The Dolphins were talking about potentially trade him. They walk that back. They say, well, no, we're not going to trade him. But I know in the Cowboys I think the Cowboys got tagged in something because of the Cowboy name, how the Cowboys have kind of gone through their off season, they make the big trade with George Pickens. So, Jerry's we're not done. Jerry's being aggressive here. Here we go. But talking to people over there, there just doesn't seem to be any legs on it right now. We'll see what happens if, in fact, Ramsey becomes a June 1.
Now that is the pivotal part. I don't think anybody – how old is Ramsey, though, by the way? 29, 30-ish, give or take. How old is he, y'all? Y'all put it down in the chat. What's scaring the hell out of everybody is $24 million, man. $24 million. Now, we could talk about the dog nastiness, the grit, the temperaments of it. It's the off season. You got to move something, right? The $24 million is scaring the hell out of most people and most owners right now. It's like saying somebody with a 450 credit score saying, hey, let me just put extra on the down payment for this car, but I got you, let me use you as a cosign, but I got $1,000 right here. Even though they got $1,000 right and they want to put it down and they got a 450 credit score and they asking you to be a cosigner, right? And Holly, they asking Ace Boogie, Roger, he's 31, man, times flies, right? Stone Cold G, you like, yeah, man, I like you, man, you cool and all, but your credit score 450, man, and you got 1,000. But who knows? When you co-sign on that thing, you just as liable as the person that's really the own signer person, right? So no, he turned 31 in October, so he's 30. He's 30. Yeah. So those are the things, the $24 million. So what we can do is we can play the waiting game. And if the Washington team go get him for $24 million, we keep keying and laughing down the stretch because somewhere down the line it's going to bite them in the you-know-what because they paying a lot of money for older guys over there. They the old Washington team over there. They the 45 Jordan over there. You know what I'm saying? When he put 45 on, So that's how that goes. So if I'm the Dallas Cowboys, I'm not rushing to sign Jaylen Ramsay. Although it would be nice. It would be very nice, 450, good, right? No, TJ. Well, no, man. I had 450 since I was in college or sometime. Is 450 a good credit score? Let me ask. Hold on. Let me see. 450 a good credit. Hey, lady, AI, let me know. AI chick, let me know if 450 good credit score. Let me know.
A 450 credit score is considered very poor on most credit scoring models, like FICO and Vantage Score, which typically range from 300 to 850. Here's what that means. Approval difficulty. It will be extremely difficult to get approved for most credit cards, loans, or traditional financing. High.
Whoo! So, hey, and put it like this. Ramsey, on the other end, he's not a bad credit score guy. He got like an 810 credit. Ramsey himself got an 810 credit score. It's just us trying to buy that Ramsey. That's too high right now. So what we need to do is basically, ladies and gentlemen, yeah, Dean Clout says 700. So in June 1st, when the Miami Dolphins cut that dead weight, right? and they get that price tag down just a little bit, then we can afford them. But $24 million is too much cash. It's too much money, man. So when we can't do that.
Problem with that is if he becomes a June 1, now there's going to be competition for the player. And, where's that price point going to fall? I don't think the Cowboys would be cheap on it. I just think that I just don't think that they would. He's going to demand probably more than they're willing to do. Now, if they were going to trade for him, that would be that whole contract. But if he's a June 1 and he's free, then he's going to be able to pick his team and negotiate the contract he wants. I mean, the Rams, I was hearing the Rams were in on a deal too. So potentially. So
you already had him. What are y'all doing?
Yeah.
They want to bring him back. They want to bring
No!
him back.
Yeah. He's mine. You may have had him once, but we all the time. However that song goes. Rams don't need him, man. Rams and already had him. Look, my guy Jeffrey said. All right, so Kavanaugh. So what I'm getting at is Cowboys, how you entice this situation is through supreme negotiation. David Mulugeta, if you really care about your clients, the people that you sign as agent, as you are the agent of Jaylen Ramsay, right? So what you got to do is, Ramsay on T-Move is crazy. Yeah, but what you got to do is say, hey, Ramsay, you on the back end of your career now, right? You got 3 to maybe 4, if we pushing it, good more years in you. There's not a better situation to go play for than the Dallas Cowboys.
They can come closer than close, yeah. Original they never will be.
Because all you need is one game. If Ramsay played just one game with the Cowboys, he will be forever considered a Dallas Cowboy. To this point, Jared McCoy didn't even play that game, man. I take that back. Jared McCoy never even played a game for the Cowboys. I saw one time on one post. Okay, I got. Yeah, let me see. I got a text message. All right, I'm going to have to get that one on. All right, so what I'm going to say here is that if you play a half of a game, even if you just been mentioned with the Cowboys, Jared McCoy is considered a former Cowboy. I said, man, that dude didn't even get a chance to play for us, but he's considered a former Cowboy. That's crazy as cat hair. But that's just how that goes. Cowboy Nation, the Dallas Cowboys, with all of this, need to figure this out as it relates to the secondary pieces here. Let me know in the comment box whether or not Jared McCoy torn his ligaments. Yeah. And he's considered a Cowboy now. Imagine Ramsay at free safety, maybe a corner. I mean, that would be nice, man, to bring that grit in. Here's what I'm going to say with David Mulugeta before I get another text message from someone. When we are talking about a skill set of a player to come here, and if David Mulugeta can teach his client, right, hey, even if you take $20 million from Washington and the Cowboys only paying you $8 million, over a course of 5 to 10 years, you will make that $20 million back tenfold, because what you will get with the Cowboys is, first and foremost, you done just bought a house in Fort Worth, right? Secondly, NFL Network, ESPN, Law Nation Network, all of these companies will be able to put you on their particular platform, and you will get all of the kudos and credence from them as by being a former Cowboy. You will forever be welcome back to the star and beyond when it's time for them to do draft parties and beyond. It's just crazy. Hand over fist action. So take the low man discount right now, right? But then just pay attention to what the future will bring. Look, just for what I'm telling y'all. But neither here nor there. Let me switch back over to what we were talking about previously, and I forgot to play it all the way through. And that is, but when I look at the three that I have here, of course, we can talk about Kenneth Murray and Sanborn. Those are the two veteran guys that they brought into the mix. But I'm leaning on, and I know it's kind of crass for me to say step it up for Overshown, but when he gets back, I want him to step it up. I absolutely like Leofow. And the other person would be Shamar James. I think that all three of these guys would be the future, right? And if they all three can go over Jason Witten's house and extract his blood and see how he stayed healthy for all of those years, it will be monumental. Because if these guys had Jason Witten health, man, this would be a phenomenal team at the linebacker spot.
I got a quick question for the panel. And it's going to piggyback off John Machota, and shout out to 500 people. Make sure you guys spank the likes. Make sure that you guys listen on every podcast. It's been a phenomenal show. Got a lot of information. Got a lot of takes out.
Good topic, Foots. Good topic.
Thank you, sir. And I you know what? I had to pick it up because I kept forgetting, Sky. Sky, Law, and John. Is the Marvin Overshown too small? And I say this saying this, right? He said, right? He said him and Clarence Hill had some back and forth, right? But his frame, right? Mm-hmm. Like, does that just I just want to know. Like, I'm not fighting nobody. Like, do y'all have any thoughts on that? Because in the trash, in the wash, just being, his literally his body.
Break down his injuries though. What kind of injuries?
That's the thing. It's so weird with him because the injuries weren't because he was getting bodied. He got rolled up on, and then the one in Seattle in the preseason game, I think was just a step wrong. So it's weird, but I do think his frame he's a linear player. He's very he's tall and he's thin. Even if he says, I'm 230, 235 now, sure, but you 6'4", what have you, you're very, I think he's roughly 6'4", whatever it is. He is a linear player. He's more basketball than he is football from a frame size. So it's fair to question it. But when he's playing, he don't care about his frame. He plays with his hair on fire. He's so damn good. So it's not the frame that's my worry. It's just that he keeps getting injured, whether it's freak or not. You have to put him as a injury-prone player, period.
Okay. And that Sky Walker still on Overshown. I think that the Cowboys, we've been snake bitten with linebackers, and this predates Overshown, right? I'm telling y'all, man, if Sean Lee had Jason Witten blood, Sean Lee, they would have, if y'all like what Luke Kuechly was able to do, Sean Lee was a step ahead of Luke Kuechly. And I love Luke Kuechly. I like his skill set. And keep in mind, we drafted, I believe, Maurice Claybornne. I think Morris Claybornne over Luke Kuechly, right? we drafted Morris Clayborne over Stephon Gilmore, right, in that draft. Who's old enough to remember that? So what I'm getting at is all of these things as we contextualize it, that we've been snake bitten with linebackers. Even when we do get a linebacker, like the Jaylen and what's the guy with the neck issues? Van Der Esch. Oh, yeah, Lake Van Der Esch. That we was considered a tandem for 1 year. We was considered a tandem for 1 year. So we've been snake bitten by linebackers with Bruce Carter, Sean Lee, Rolando McClain. Even when he got here, all of a sudden he got hooked up on the scissors. Yeah. But shout out to Mo Clayborne, a good friend of the show. But what I'm getting at, and then Mo Clayborne, he got a training camp that he does here in Texas. So shout out to him. He may be coming around. Mo the legend, right, Rico? You know what really messed up Mo Clayborne? Dez Bryant. You can't guard me. You can't guard me. And you for damn sure can't guard me. It destroyed his confidence, man. I said, God, no. Mo Claybornne, and then his voice started squeaking, and then he still didn't go through puberty. He got pimples all over his face. I'm sitting there like, oh, my goodness, man. Give that man some testosterone, you know. But Dez Bryant then destroyed all of the confidence on Mo Claybornne. And when you are a DB, when you are a cornerback particularly, you got to walk around as if you own the room, right? What was he? Seabass. I'm telling the right thing, right. Rolando McClain got hooked on that scissor, right, whatever that purple drink. But it is for what it is. Don't forget Jalen Smith. Jalen Smith. That 1 year, 2018. Jalen Smith and Van Der Esch, right? We haven't had a solid linebacker. I guess you had to go all the way back to Ken Norton and them, right? Robert Jones and them. So it's just been one of those things, whereas now that I'm looking at it, Mears Learfowl, I think that he's our future. Overshawn, I know that he can be our future. And then Shamar James, I just think that he can do some things too as well. But it is for what it is, Cowboy Nation, as we talk about these small things. Sean Lee and Overshawn, God made them the same. Yeah. Von Miller is that syrup sipping guy also. Yeah, but it just messed up Rolando McClain real bad. And he was good for us. He represented that 55. When he hit you, you was literally like, yeah, Rolando McClain. Hush your mouth. And those are things that is just misfortunes for us as Cowboys. And speaking of these things, as injuries concerned, although Stephon Diggs, and here's what I want to talk about with Stephon Diggs and Trayvon Diggs. Although Stephon Diggs is on a boat having a fun time with Cardi B and them and a whole bunch of other ladies. Here's my thoughts on this situation with Trayvon Diggs as we look at these two right here. Trayvon Diggs is doing this documentary. And I think it's very misguiding to a lot of folks because the documentary was not of 2025, it's of 2024. And it was his progress and his process of coming back for 2024. It's just a late tape, right? And now we don't know whether or not something is tangible for 2024 or 2025, but I believe that this footage right here is of 2025 though. But when you watch his documentary, shout out to him on YouTube doing great numbers and everything of that nature. I just don't want y'all to think that that's him currently, right? That was him a season ago. So a lot of things can change within the confines of a year. But what I'm getting at with Trayvon Diggs, injuries plagued him because we all banged the table and declare and decree for Trayvon Diggs to be out there and to be healthy, and on top of that, for the Cowboys to do the right things and pay these players early, and they did it. They said, okay, we got this guy, we believe in him, he accepted the agreement, we paid him early, and boom, he get hurt. I mean, that's snake bitten all the way, man, and that's something that that's something we can't stop. But what I'm hoping is that the Cowboys down the stretch can find a way to implement him once everything is good to go. And those are the things that I want to bring to the forefront there. Another thing that we want to talk about, is this right here, Cowboy Nation. Is piggybacking back off of the aspect of Jaylen Ramsay one more time.
This has become more and more of a talking point in recent days. People wanting to know if the Jaylen Ramsay trade could be on the table for the Dallas Cowboys. I don't think that they would have any interest in doing anything with Ramsay.
Well, Jeremy Fowler kind of started this, and I think he was right in mentioning Pickens, so I wanted to give him his credit there. But he said a number of teams are engaged on a Ramsay trade. We know that.
All right, so and we're going to break that down a little bit further. But let me get into this right quick before we go any further into this situation. Cowboy Nation. The more I think of this, I think that Jaylen Ramsay may end up playing with that star on the side of the helmet. It's just a gut feeling. Nobody's telling me this. I just think it's a gut feeling that he is going to have a star on the side of the helmet. It's gonna absolutely pay off because we done struck and missed so many times. I remember us banging the table just like yesterday for the honey badger, right? And someone was saying on the radio station, blah, 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 and these sorts of things. And I think Stephen Jones, or it could have been Jerry, I think it's more of Stephen Jones saying that, hey, you know, with Honey Badger, with his knees, you know, he won't be any good, blah, blah, blah. And I remember vividly the Honey Badger said, with 2 reconstructed knees, I'm better than every DB on your team. And he meant it because he was hurt. He really wanted to play with that silver and blue. And he never got a chance to play with him. He played 1 season for the Texans and went off to the Chiefs, won a Super Bowl. Y'all know the storyline, right? Then the other guy was the Earl Thomas situation. Earl Thomas wanted to play for the Cowboys so badly that after they whooped our ass, he ran to Jason Garrett and said, come get me, right? And we never could come up with the agreements and these sorts of things. And he ended up going somewhere else. And it kind of worked out for us because he had a great season with the Ravens, but then they had to end up playing against the Titans, and he got stiff-armed up out of there. And then they caught him in a hotel with some other ladies and stuff like that, or his lady was with some other guy, and he got drunk, and a whole bunch of crazy stuff happened with Eric Thomas, right? Or Earl Thomas, I meant to say. And the storyline goes on and on and on of people that we really want to come to the Cowboys, and they never panned out. But this one piece right here, I think that, you know, it's a situation and scenario that this could work for us, right? You know, before Earl Thomas went crazy. Yeah, you're right, Joseph. Everybody is not like Tom Brady. Tom Brady can watch some stuff, right, and keep it moving. He walked in on his lady with the karate instructor, allegedly, and he said, okay, I'm going to win me a few Super Bowls, right? Earl Thomas walked in with his lady at the hotel, and he went crazy. Oh, my God. Earl Thomas went crazy, boy. He's still crazy somewhere around here. Yeah. We got Darian Thompson instead of Earl Thomas that year. Yeah, Louis, you right, boy. You went, yeah. You went way back. And the craziest thing about it all is that Darian Thompson is still here. He's our linebackers assistant coach. Yeah, Jamal Adams, too, you know. You can't say the same thing what happened here, though, laughing out loud. I don't know, man. I just think that I just got a gut feeling. Yeah, the Cowboys are going to fool around and have Jaylen Ramsay here, you know. Yeah, I just have it's a gut feeling, you know.
They added George Pickens. How much of a difference will he make for this team this year? And does that put them in a position now to compete in that division?
I think it's huge because he just upgrades the position they were the worst at, which was receiver depth. Even their tight end position, like Jake Ferguson's a good player, but they didn't really have a second weapon behind CeeDee Lamb. Like, he complements him very well. He's never played with as good a player as CeeDee Lamb, who's a lot more versatile than him, but you have Pickens kind of in that old Michael Gallup role, and he's playing for a contract. They've had good success with guys coming in that were maybe a little divisive in their old spots and then playing for a contract and then getting that contract. I think a Roy Williams back in the day. I think a T.O. back in the day. I think Pickens could be a lot like that.
Yeah, we got.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Correction, my bad. Oh, it was Earl. Hold on, let me see. Oh, his wife was gangster. Okay. All right, so hold on. So somebody corrected me. NFL star Earl Thomas held at gunpoint by a wife over alleged. Okay, so no. So it was Earl in the bed with somebody else, and she came out there. She came out there. My body be punished for hard living. Hands on the strap, so prayers, Father, please forgive me. She had her hands on the strap, man. So yeah. So it's the inverse round. Yeah. So Earl, hey, gotta be careful, man. You gotta be careful. So yeah. My bad. So yeah, shout out to Superstar. I think you the one pointed that out. Appreciate y'all. I don't want to be spreading false news over here. But at the end of the day. Oh, okay. Toxic Tom with the corrections, with the more corrections. Earl Thomas and his brother. Oh my gosh, man.
All I ask.
Hey, man.
Oh, boy. Yeah.
How do we get here, man? Man?
Are you shitting me?
Oh my God.
Are you shitting me?
Hey, man. Shit. Hey, twin. Oh my gosh, man. Jeez, man.
This is where we hold
Oh
them.
my gosh.
This is where we fight.
Riggs! Shout out to the Thomases, though. The Thomas name. I don't know if Earl part of the all side of the Thomas fam.
My turn! Told me it was my turn. It's my turn.
Hey, have y'all ever examined when he said, "It's my turn," and then he get calm at the end, like watch it.
My turn! Told me it was my turn. It's my turn.
It's my turn. John Taylor.
Damn! Dak Prescott!
Hey, shit. Oh my gosh, man. How did we get to this conversation? We don't supposed to be talking about this, man. Midday time, somebody like, hey, man. Hey, man, I'm at work. Law, you finna get me fired, man. All right, so that could have been a good alibi. Like Thomas said, look, man, I'm the human NDA. I was just here for my brother. Baby, put the gun down. Put the gun down. I'm telling you. You got to.
And they understand the cost that is involved.
You know, I'm just here for my brother, making sure everything's okay. You know, I'm the cameraman. Don't pull the gun. Don't pull the strap on me, baby. But when they was talking about George Pickens, not Thomas, but George Pickens, they were saying that basically Tuesday tension. Below the heavens, boy. Hey, all right, let me reel this back in. Collectively, if you like playing games, right, and if you want the quality to be great, and you ain't playing the games that Earl Thomas was playing, but if you playing the games like this, Spartans! Yo, if you serious about gaming, you need to check out the Turtle Beach Self 700. The headset is built for power, comfort, the hybrid leather cushion, metal reinforced design, the clean, lay flat look that made to last, the real magic, the dual driver that give you high definition 24-bit audio sound. That crisp, that footsteps, clean shot, 3D sound that put you in the game. Switching device easy. You can bounce between PC, PlayStation, and even your phone with Bluetooth. Thanks to crossplay, noise cancellation, giving you crisp, crystal clear, zero static sound. Game smarter, play louder, dominate everything. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. Let's get it. Yes, indeed, man. So shout out to the PlayStation 4 controllers, man. I know y'all was ragging on me, man, because I don't have the PS5. But, man, I kept it live with y'all. So be sure to check out Turtle Beach Self 700. And when you utilize that link that's in the description box, you can get discounts off of your purchases there. And they have much more than just those headsets. So be sure to stroll around and look at all of the things that they have. And by doing that, you're helping out the nation, man. You're doing your job. I appreciate you on that. One of the things that I got to do, I got about 10 minutes before we depart. It's a different day. I normally go live a little bit longer, but I got daddy duties and things like that due to this graduation today. Xbox Series X gang, I see you, fam. One of the people that I've been telling y'all about, and he's been hitting the gym, and he's been one of the guys that really been telling, and his family, his people, man, they follow the channel, man, all the way from another country and everything, and they've been following me since day one, and he's been a all-star out there far as his family legacy, right? And they said, man, Lord, man, we play your channel all the time. You know, that's how they came at me when we was out there in Oxnard, and it was just a great moment for us to look at this particular situation, ladies and gentlemen. And his name is, guess who's the player? Guess who this is right here? And he really want to let people know that with given an opportunity and given a chance in the situation, that when y'all said that he was too tall, too small, right, and not fast enough, even though he ran a 4.38, cover every blade of grass, he got into it. Me and Shango, we saw him get into the positioning coach when it was 2 seasons ago. He's been in that doghouse for a long time, and it's crazy for him to play lights out. Y'all put his name in the chat. It's crazy for him to play lights out in that postseason game against Tom Brady, right? He shut that thing down, and he played pretty well in that spot, and he was called upon, and he did a great job. For him to get pretty much overlooked, I think that this year he starts over. None of that old regime, right? Somebody said that's David Irvin. Shoot, as swole as he is now, he might as well call him David Irvin in them. So he's really letting people know that if you give him a situation and scenario, I will be that dog, Law. I will be him, you know, and trust. Just give me a chance, man. Throw me some kibbles and bits. George. Wait, George. Down, boy, down, George. George don't like me when I talk about other dogs here, man. But I just think that with Izzy, he just need playing time. And when we went through the Kelvin Joseph phase, we went through the Nashawn Wright phase, we went through the Andre Booth, and who else phase? Even with Anthony Brown overstayed his welcoming. You know, even though Anthony and them was okay far as his stat line, and then he just get blown all up to pieces down the stretch. I just think that what we did was we never got a chance to get this guy a chance to fall, right? And you learn more from your failures than your success. And if given the situation and scenario, I would tell you guys, and I'm not saying that he's all Temu version of Jaylen Ramsay, but what I'm saying is basically, let's see what Izzy can do, man. Put it like this, as a DB, in the hearts of hearts, you can't get into a good flow with one game. You can't get into a flow with a few series. Sometimes it takes multiple games. Sometimes we done let this thing go into too much of a crazy situation of allowing Andre Booth multiple games. Nashawn Wright, even though he's gone, and these sorts of things. It's crazy. We traded Nashawn Wright away for Andre Booth, and we still didn't give the man already in the house a chance in the situation. That's crazy that we didn't give this guy a chance. So all I'm saying is give this guy a chance. And nah, Law, superstar status says, nah, Law, you forgot about Nolan Carroll. Too, Law. Yeah, Nolan Carroll was crazy. So let's give Izzy a shot at this, and I just believe even and 1 year is in the same boat now, right? We can't just hoard all of these guys and keep them here and never play them. We become hoarders, don't we? we become real life hoarders. We hoard Wanye, and then all of a sudden in the final years of his contract, even though Wanye didn't sign a little deal here, then all of a sudden, hey man, we could have had him here, right? We did it with Charvarius Ward, right? Who's old enough to remember him? Like, let's hoard him, let's keep him, or now let's get rid of him, and we'll elevate this guy, and didn't even get a chance to play him. Then he goes over to 40 Winers land and be something special. And I guess this year, I think he's with the Titans or whoever now. Yeah. Yes, I would love to be a hoarder of talent, Law. Hoarders, however you say that. If I'm using the word correctly, we don't use them. We don't use them. June 1st, money is doubling. Yeah, so let Wanye play. We can literally be a team with Wanye, Bale, and Izzy, right? And I'm not beating up Malik Hooker. I ain't gonna say I like hookers, but I like Malik to this point, right? That let us, when we was dog water last year, put some of the young guys out there. We know what Malik can do. We've seen what Donovan can do out there in space. Put some of the young guys out there to give them a chance and an opportunity. That's all I'm saying, baby. Yeah, hit the like button, J Business. Appreciate you, man. Thank y'all so much for your support. This is an arm race. Give me all of the weapons, though. This is toxic time. I do agree with that aspect. Give me all of the weapons, but play them. Figure out a way to put them out there on the field. That's all I'm saying. Cowboy Nation, I really appreciate y'all so much. Thank y'all for y'all love and adulations and support. We will be back with some more content throughout the day. Just got to get on up out of here. But one of the things that I want to showcase you guys is that even with this clip right here of my guy running away from everybody, CeeDee Lamb, I think that this year I'm banking on CeeDee Lamb and Pickens to really show up and show out. I'm banking on the fact that Dak Prescott, normally they even use this coming off of an injury year, he's always shining, right? I'm thinking that Dak Prescott this season really have a tandem weapon at wide receivers, nothing to be forced about, right? Listening back to these guys, what they said one more time. Hold on, they got some terrible music. But
they added George Pickens. How much of a difference will he make for this team this year? And does that put them in a position now to compete in that division?
I think it's
crazy.
Huge because he just upgrades the position they were the worst at, which was receiver depth.
Receiver depth. The things of how Brandon Cooks, right, aged like a banana on top of the refrigerator. Went from one season as, hey, this would be a guy to give us 1,000 yards, blah, blah, blah. He comes into this element. He get his knees all banged up. He missed a few practices. He missed a few games. He never lived up to the expectations that we thought that we was going to get Brandon Cooks from. And then they had him running comeback routes, hitch routes. At first, we thought it was Kellen Moore. Then Kellen Moore left. And then we were sitting here like, man, Mike McCarthy is still putting a tiny guy, 5'9", and you know what I'm saying? And if I'm looking over at him and I'm only 5'10" and a half, 5'11" when I'm wearing certain shoes, I'm sitting here looking at him like I'm looking down at him. I'm sitting like, come on, man. They put you on a hitch route, come on with it. So when we start talking about those small little things, when we start looking at them things, shout out to all of the short kings. It's just the fact that Brandon Cooks never lived up to the expectations of what we thought that we was going to get from him, right? And that's just for what it is.
Even their tight end position, like Jake Ferguson's a good player, but they didn't really have a second weapon behind CeeDee Lamb. Like, he complements him very well. He's never played with as good a player as CeeDee Lamb, who's a lot more versatile than him, but you have Pickens kind of in that old Michael Gallup role, and he's playing for a contract. They've had good success with guys coming in that were maybe a little divisive in their old spots and then playing for a contract and then getting that contract. I think a Roy Williams back in the day. I think a T.O. back in the day. I think Pickens could be a lot like that.
No doubt, man, before they go to that music, And this is the importance of taking small steps. I always try to read something positive and, you know, get my day going. And I really appreciate y'all. But it's important to take the small steps. Some people want, the people that say, hey, we going to the Super Bowl. No. It's too quick. It's too soon, right? It's too soon. You just got to take one step, right? No step should be too big. Brandon Uncooked Cooks. And shout out to Cooks, man. He's my guy, you know. Yeah. But it's important, ladies and gentlemen, to take the small steps and not the big ones. Shout out to you, world. Appreciate you. Are you related to Daryl Worleys of the worlds? Shout out to the 5'5" ice cold. Angie, 5'5". Angie, you 5'5". Appreciate you. But humble beginnings. So many people say, hey, I want to do this. I want to do content curations. Start with the small steps. And then see yourself in a bigger room. I remember when I went live, it would only be 3 or 4 people, right? But the message still was the same. I remember going live and there's 30 folks up in here. The message is still the same. The small, humble beginnings is where you need to be. Keep this in mind, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls around this beautiful globe. If you enter a room and there's 4 people and you're talking to them, that's a lot of folks, in my opinion. If you enter a room and only 15 folks in here watching and listening to you, that's a lot of folks. So imagine a room and we got over 600 folks in here. This is still small to some people, but that's a lot of folks. 600 people. Hell, we talk about Spartans, prepare for glory. And it was only 300 of those guys. So never look at numbers and get misguided. It's all about strategy, system, complex, and scheme. So even with the smallness, you can go far. They say faith size of a mustard seed. Woo, boy, y'all don't have me to start preaching in here. All you need is faith the size of a mustard seed. And what do mustard seed grow? Do y'all know how big that tree becomes? But here's the inverse of it, baby. If you take that same seed, that small seed, and you put it in a little jar, that seed would never grow to its full potential. So that's why you always got to continue to move yourself. Never be satisfied within the confines of the place you're in. And even a shark only grows the size of the tank that he is in. Right? So come on with it, Cowboy Nation. Always be able to move yourself, to continue to develop yourself. And this team right here, that's what they're trying to do, is elevate themselves. Get over here. Ain't that right, my guy? Overkill 79. I always say the same quote at the end, and you guys may have it in your mind and mental complex, just like I do. If you want a thing bad enough to go out there and fight for it, to work day and night to give up your time and your peace and your sleep, if all of your desires of it makes you quite mad that you don't get tired, and it makes you hold everything tawdry and cheap, if life itself seems empty and useless without it, and all that you scheme and dream is about it, if you will gladly go out there and sweat forward, fret forward a plan to lose all terror of your mind, if you would simply, just simply go after the thing you want with all of your capacity, strength, sagacity, with faith, hope, confidence, and stern pertinacity. If neither cold or the poverty or the famish of fame or the sickness about your brain can turn you away from the things you want if dogged and grim and besieged and beset with the help of Almighty, Cowboy Nation and everyone that's listening, you will get it. That's been my time. I really thank you all for yours. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. Let's get it. We're about.
Tell them run it up. I wake up. Yeah. I wake up. Flex. Thumb down now. Check. No drip this. Wet. Tell them run it up. No sleep, no rest. Might crash, might wreck. But first I stretch. Tell them run it up. I wake up. Flex. Thumb down now. Check. No drip this. Tell them run it up.
Shout out to the Coleman Cowboys.
But first I stretch.
Come on.
9 out of 10 roll through my hands, I'm by my lonely. Turned to a savage, now my baby wants to hold me. I love my fans, don't need no friends, I got my own.
One love, baby.
Thought I could trust you, I find out you tried to zone me.
Yeah.
I'm number one up on that court, I'm Nick McGrady.
Come on.
The first one in, the last one out, can't call me lazy.
Can't call me lazy, and the right ace.
Send the invoice and they pay me. I need 6 rings like MJ.
Come on, Law Nation, let's get that 6, Cowboys.
Wake up, flex, thumb down now. Check, no drip this. Wet. Tell them run it up. No sleep, no rest. Might crash, might wreck. But first I stretch. Tell them run it up. I wake up, flex, thumb down now. Check, no drip this. Tell them run it up. No sleep, no rest. Might crash, might wreck. But first I stretch. Tell them run it up. Y'all gon' make me take that trip way out to Europe. I call up Nigeria, come through in a hurry. Those London boys don't come to play, you should get worried.
Come on.
One false move, find yourself, they getting buried. This with the devil, used to love playing those games. Made some bad decisions that brought my mama pain.
Not mine.
I made a promise to her, swore that I would change.
Come on.
I'm on the come up, bet I live up to my name.
Yeah, let's get it.
I wake up.
Law.
Thumb down now.
Nation.
No drip this. Tell them run it up. No sleep, no rest. Might crash, might wreck. But first I stretch. Tell them run it up. I wake up, flex, thumb down now. Check. No drip this. Tell them run it up. No sleep, no rest. Might crash, might wreck. But first
all right, on the road to 6, man. Appreciate you guys. And if you guys taking any heat from anybody that's not on the road to 6, just tell them, to lean forward just a little bit, because we on a road to 6. Yeah, and they may be on a road to like 3, or they may be on a road to 4, but they may be on a road to 5. So the only people that can talk noise and talk stuff to us if they on the road to 6. Come on with it. Or they on the road to maybe 7 or 8. Y'all know how that goes. DC for life, not for sure, baby. That's been my time. I really thank you all for yours. And remember, until next time.